college grads. We were loud and fun, didn't know when to stop. Some people called us idiotic, but we've grown to be conventionally chaotic.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to everybody who's watching. I see lots of viewers so far, so thank you all so much for joining us. I'm Jonathan Monroe, and I'm joined here by some of the third-year students from St. Lawrence College's musical theater program. Say hello, everybody. The typical online wave that we've become accustomed to over the semester, but it has been really my pleasure to work with each and every one of these 16 incredible artists. This semester, really, this course has been about the process of writing new musical theater songs. I don't think, who amongst you had written musical theater songs before this semester? Anyone? A little bit? Okay, Madeline. A few, just experimented with it, but this was really, I think, a new process for everybody. It was a new process for me too, to kind of do a crash course in music theater writing. So as opposed to kind of a show, what we decided on was to do a presentation of the songbook that everybody created, and give everybody a little insight on the process, what the process was like of creating that songbook. Of course, you're going to hear the songs as well, but I'd love to turn it over to the writing teams now, actually to some individuals, to discuss the step-by-step process that we went through to come up with tonight's presentation. So I'd love to start with Thomas Pritchard. Thomas, what kind of insight can you give us?
So the way how this procedure started is that we gathered so many different things that were in the zeitgeist of today's society. We listed them all, and we then decided to create all the songs that you'll be seeing today.
Sounds great. Michaela, can you tell us what happened next?
Yeah, so we talked about the zeitgeist, what's going on in our society, and then from that, we talked about personally what makes us mad or what makes us laugh, and just basically these things that bring up strong emotions within us, and then because those are the important and good things to write about. So from that subject matter and those topics, it then went into the subject matter of our songs.
Right, and what would those that type of thing be about? Once you've kind of found the fuel, what would they turn into?
We talked about things people who don't wear their masks, or the political climate in the States right now, and then we from that just came up with some titles of songs.
Right. Okay. So
and
you
then
the story behind the song, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And Will, what about next? How did you kind of go from story to the next phase?
So the next phase after story was song structure, and we focused on the different formats like AABA, which was used in songs like Over the Rainbow, and the more contemporary ones, so verse chorus, which is dominated music theater and pop. Everyone's favorite song, Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera. It covers all the songs for you.
It really does. It's definitely a popular song structure for sure. Thanks, Will. And Mallory, how about giving us a little insight into kind of the lyric writing process?
Well, we started by looking at Sondheim songs, and of course, there's the famous mantra, content dictates form.
Mm-hmm.
So we looked at that and how using meter and scansion and how changing things and speeding things up or slowing things down can dictate how the person's feeling or how they're saying something, or even just personality traits can come out in songs. And then we talked about rhyming, like the imperfect rhymes that we're not allowed to have, and perfect rhymes, or you can just end without a rhyme. and how like it portrays different things, and how some characters can rhyme and others don't, and what does that say about them. Yeah, and we figured out what we wanted our characters to be and kind of wrote in that style.
Fantastic, thank you. And Sarah Claude, how about kind of from how did the lyrics inform your melody, and how did you come up with melody?
Yeah, so first and foremost, the melody was based on the lyrics. So what we learned this semester is that basically the melody is inspired by the lyrics, and you really do, if you have to like accent a word in the sentence, then that's where you put your higher note in the melody, and like how you basically build a melody structure. And then we really talked also between different stanza and what kind of melody they should have, how the third stanza should be like the most high one or the most intense, and things like that. That was really interesting.
Cool. Awesome, thanks. And Nick, how about harmony, kind of what we added to that melody?
We talked about how harmony can aid in what the two characters might think about each other or the story that they're telling, and how usually like what we would consider a pretty harmony usually means they like each other, and a crunchy harmony could mean they have differing views on what we're talking about. Exactly,
they can inform character. That's great. So Anastasia, after we kind of had the first draft at that point of all of the songs, after I guess about 7 or 8 weeks, so after that, how did we go about rewrites? Our favorite process, rewriting.
Well, you definitely had us do the exercise where we wrote 2 different versions of a rewrite. So we would have the original lyrics, then we would change the lyrics, but keep the same, like say the same thing in a different way, and then just do a complete new rewrite, not using any of the same things. And through that, you can kind of gauge which one you like better and see which one fits better, and you can go from there.
Very cool. And then Corral, how about addressing what wasn't clear in the song? That was like one of our focus points, right?
Yeah, I think we talked with our peers, see the song, kind of have an extra eyes on it, being, this is not as clear for me. And I think the way that everyone found a way to make it clear was to take a step back, say, okay, what's the actual story that I want to tell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. So without any further ado, thank you everybody for shedding a little insight or giving us a little insight into the process that we all went through. It was the wild and fun process of it. I'm gonna roll a little video, and then I'll be joining a couple of writing teams right after that. So once again, thank you all so much for the insight.
It's 8:55, waiting out the clock. Spend my day listening to condescending talk. Just as I go to lock up the door, this Karen walks in yelling, trying to start a war. And though I don't know what was happening in her day, I still don't think she can treat me that way. If I don't get out of this ignorant town, will I be the one dragging other people down? I don't want to be one of the typical types, always stuck in her ways, never wanting to change. I don't want to burden this world with my gripes. I want to break the cycle, watch it
All right. Great work. So that was the first song in our set called Typical Types, written by Maggie Alguire and Sarah Duff. And they are joining me, I should say, but all of us, Kira and Marley as well. And I'd love to ask you just a couple of questions. What inspired you to write that great song?
So as I don't know, Kayla kind of mentioned this, but we got the titles. There was a whole list of titles that we all came up with together, and then each pair got to pick a title, and we were one of the last groups to go, so we didn't really have much to pick from. So we got this title, Typical Types, and at first we were a little bit stumped. We were like, we don't really know what this title means. What could this song be about? And then so we just started to brainstorm, like, what is a typical type to each of us? And we kind of landed on this idea of like ignorant people who are always just doing the same thing. And so from there, we decided to kind of spin it into a more positive note and make it about some characters who don't want to be like that.
Fantastic. I love that. So it kind of took on a process of something that was not originally your idea, but you kind of turned it into your idea eventually.
Yes.
Nicely done. It's fantastic. So what about that process? How did you actually manage that? At what point did you realize it was kind of your own?
Like when we started, we weren't really sure, like, especially with the writing process of writing the lyrics, we were stumped for sure. We spent a lot of hours in Sarah's basement pacing back and forth. And we kind of finally started, for me, I knew it was when we turned it into a duet. We originally wrote it as a solo, and it wasn't really going where we wanted it to go. And then we added the second person, and then it felt like more of a story that we were telling. Yeah.
Right. And did you find that the characters kind of spoke to each other in any way, or was it still two individual points of view?
Yeah, they started definitely like first bit, like Sarah's bit, then mine. And then I think Sarah definitely then helped my character come to the realization of growth and progress moving forward. Yeah. I
love that. The mark of a great music theater song. Fantastic. Thanks for that. And now the second songwriting team, whose song we haven't heard yet, Kira Watson and Marley Griffiths. It's lovely to see you both, as always. How was your collaboration? How was it working with each other?
It was really great to work together. Me and Kira have worked together a lot in the past. We're pretty good friends. Yeah. So yeah, it was nice to have someone who I already know well, and we just were able to get together, and like Kira had her ukulele, and we were just able to like start saying ideas and just whatever came to our heads, and it flowed really well, and I felt like yeah, it was really nice to collaborate. So.
That's lovely. Yeah, what about the kind of workshop helped inform your writing process?
I think that the biggest thing that we like added from the workshop when we were writing would be like perfect rhymes, because Marley and I had written a couple songs together, or one at that point, for another project we were doing, and when we were writing that first song, we hadn't considered perfect rhymes, so it was like a fun extra challenge for ourselves to like try and add that in.
Yeah, it's a pretty tricky challenge. It's specific to musical theater, I think, as well. Just that, traditionally, it has always been a perfect rhyme, and it's a great place to start, because if you can do that as kind of a base, then it gives you so many more possibilities in terms of character to kind of start there and then expand out from that place. I thought you did beautifully, and we're going to go right to your song. It's called Homebody. Let's have a listen.
I know we talked about this yesterday. I can't stop scrolling on my phone. I'm losing my mind all alone today. Guess what? I started watching Grey's again. I
I must get out, break this routine. Can't watch Nick Dreamy die on screen. Because Meredith's just like really fragile and she can't go through that. Spoilers! Can't stay here anymore. I'm missing life before. Cause you know that I'm not a homebody. Can stay in this place for too long.
Your grandma's farts can't smell that bad.
Trapped inside with my family. I don't think that I'm that strong.
I'll prove you wrong. It's not as bad as it may seem. If you're ever feeling blue, there's someone there to cook for you. You know that bitch from chemistry.
Ugh, I hate her.
Yeah, me too. You don't have to see her every week, and no more listening to her speak. The silver linings there, we'll make it through, I swear.
Will I?
'Cause you know that being a homebody, it might be just what you need. I know this doesn't come easily, but we can take it at your speed.
Really slowly.
Things could be alright.
I guess I'm seeing what you mean.
Well, hey, you're doing fine now.
Better than where I've been. I could be a homebody, making do with what I got.
Time's moving extra slowly, but you're helping me, and that's a lot. We could be homebodies, Homebodies? making do with what we got. Time's moving extra slowly, but we're helping us, and that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Amazing. I love it. I love that video. It's so, I mean, it's like right on point as to what's happening right now. It's great. Congratulations to all of those writers that we just had the pleasure, whose songs we just had the pleasure of hearing. And now I welcome two more teams, Nick Jonas and Anna Doyle, and Will Perry and Michaela Bondi. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
It's so nice to see you. So I'm going to start with you, Anna and Nick. I'd love to kind of ask you, you're in the same room right now, but were you in the same room throughout the pandemic and working on the songs?
No, a lot of times we would be like just messaging each other frantically, or there was a lot of Zoom calls of us trying to go back and forth. Like, what do you think of this line? What do you think of this melody? Tons of voice memos that got sent, mostly from you because you were much better at that than I was.
Oh, voice memos. So you used a voice memo as a way to communicate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like singing into our phones and then sending it off. And be like, what do you think about this section? Or like, what if we change these lyrics here?
Fantastic.
And a lot of Google Docs.
Yes, the famous Google Doc. That's great. And then, you know, how did your song relate to the theme of the show? Like, we didn't really talk too much about the theme, but in your kind of minds, how did you kind of fit that into the theme?
We were thinking about the theme a lot in that we didn't want to hit it entirely on the nose of like, this is a song about the world in a pandemic and how hard that is. And so we were looking at it through the lens of a relationship that was kind of going downhill because they had different perspectives on what should be happening in the pandemic and kind of how to respond to that. And so rather than looking at the world as a whole. We're looking at how it affected these two characters, and so it's a solo from the one character's perspective, and how the state of the world is impacting them.
Right. How and their relationship, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Fantastic. Well, I'll look forward to hearing it again. It's great. And now, Will and Michaela, at what point did you feel like your song, you have a very different song. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is, but at what point did you feel like it was really starting to click?
For me, it was when we started the feedback sessions with our peers, and we started to get a reaction from them, like the desired reaction, because otherwise it was just like Will and I just sitting, writing, and we were like, I don't know, like, is this good? Like, are people gonna like, is it too much? I don't know. So like when we started to get that feedback, and they were great, our peers were great at like helping us refine the lyrics as well.
Yeah.
So that's when it all just kind of came together, I think.
And what about the zeitgeist, Will, led you to writing this type of song?
2020 was a lot. I don't know if you know this, John, but there was a pandemic, problems. Like there was just so much going on, and our song takes a political approach of some stuff that went on down south, about a certain dollar store spray tan president. I don't know if you know his name, Donald Trump. And you know what? There's a lot to say about him. Honestly, there's just a lot.
A lot, and like not at all.
Not all good, but
that's it. We're gonna hear two fantastic songs right now. We'll start with "Against the Grain," which is by Anna Doyle and Nick Jonas, and then go to the Trump song written by Michaela Bondi and Will Perry.
The world isn't cooperating, I feel so alone. We should be together, instead I am here on my own. Freedom and fun and parties and people, how I miss what once was. Trapped in my tiny oasis, can't have you here as my basis. I wish I could, 'cause I miss your smile. Is this over? Do you think that you're fighting? Do you think that you're the one with half a brain? How can this get better if we don't accept the norm? Do you think that you're the one against the grain? I want our life together back. I miss you more and more as the minutes go by. You can't miss what you haven't given up. We can't do this and you know why. Is this over? Do you think that you're fighting? Do you think that you're the one with half a brain? How can this get better if we don't accept the norm? Do you think that you're the one against the grain? I have people to care about and I can't let them go. My mom, she's all I have and she's my world. You have nothing to lose here. You don't understand. You push and don't let go. That's it, we're done. I told you no. This is over. You're not the one that's fighting. You can't convince me you have half a brain. This isn't getting better, and I can't accept your norm. You're not the one who's going against the grain. I'm here against the grain.
Good evening. I'd like to provide the American people with an update on our efforts to protect the integrity of our very important 2020 election. If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. I've already decisively won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite historic election interference from big media, big money, and big tech.
That tangerine skin with the fluffy toupee, I was ready to toss the bouquet. Oh, how I loved it when he tweaked. It always made my heart skip a beat. Sure, Melania was in the way, but judging by his past, I thought we'd be okay. I wanted a hunk of that man meat to be a part of the political elite, but then he mocked that kind, disabled reporter, and he turned me into a Clorox hoarder. I started to notice he's a true bigot. Wait, that man I loved is a hypocrite. Oh, he is an old racist, lying, homophobic, plus he's still whole of a prick. The way he runs this country never fails to make me truly sick. The thousands are dying, Bernie Sanders is crying. I bet in bed he's unsatisfied. He's a man who's got no plans, just fake tans that have been sprayed on way too thick. Now his sexy looks couldn't help me get past the words he says. They leave me all aghast. Proud boys, stand back and stand by. Gosh, I feel like I might cry. His list of lies is long and vast. His KKK support is steadfast. Would somebody please impeach this guy so we can party like the 4th of July? And knowing that I say farewell, Trump, you're no longer the man to make my heart go thump. I don't need a man to make America great. I just want a man to take me on a date. I loved an old racist, lying, homophobic, plus he's still whole of a prick. The way he runs this country never fails to make me truly sick. Republican, this goofball needs a brain transplant. He's a man who's got no plans, just fake tans that have been sprayed on way too thick. This year I'm voting for Biden, voting for a man who I can confide in. Even though he rubs people on the back, we must get this country back on track. What kind of woman would I be if I voted for a man with a small none of a brain? Wait, Biden won? Yes! Goodbye, you old racist, lying, homophobic, plus you're still whole of a prick. The way you ran this country never failed to make me truly sick. Our future is bright, our decision was right. Now we can sleep in peace at night. No more man who's got no plans, just fake tans that have been sprayed on way too thick. No more old racist, lying, homophobic, classist, ugly, bully, cheater-like, fascist, still whole of a prick.
Oh my God, it makes me laugh every time. I love it. It's so good. Hi, new faces. It's great to see you all. That was the Trump song written by Will Perry and Michaela Bondi. And now I'm joined by Coral Cruz, Sean Rakowski, Thomas Pritchard, and Sarah Claude Dion Dupont. Nice to see you all. Woohoo! Great. So after that comic relief, I'd love to ask you just a little bit about your process, Corral and Sean. What is your song about, and kind of how did it evolve throughout the semester?
Yeah, so our song is about two people that got stuck together at like the beginning of quarantine, and it's mostly about like how they're learning to live together and how it's like their struggles through that and how they progress as like people through this.
Yeah, and it had a really interesting journey because it started with the both of us just like talking about our experiences in,
Mhm.
in quarantine and how they were so different. I was in another country, he was here, and it kind of came from that to okay, what are we doing? And then
Right.
like okay, there's two people telling a story to each other. So
Right. And like, what was the best part about the writing process? I think, was there a favorite moment, or like, did you like one thing in particular that really kind of meant a lot to you? What was that for you?
I think my personal favorite moment was when we finished our first draft.
Mm.
It was done. It was not perfect whatsoever, but it was like, oh my god, we have a song. Did everything change after that? Yes. It was just, yeah, it was a great feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, to have something complete, you know, in front of you is pretty great. How about you, Sean?
Yeah, I would say there was just one night we had to drive out to my cottage, and I was just on the road, and Carl took her notebook out and we started writing, and all of a sudden we just finished like 3 verses, and it was crazy. It was just like,
Wow.
oh my goodness, you know. So
That's so fast. It just all happened at one creative outburst.
yeah, it was cool. It was just like it was a really nice moment. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for that. And Sarah Claude and Thomas, how did you have a very different song in tone than Corral and Sean. So how did you choose the genre for your song? It's great. It's very specific. So what kind of inspired you?
Well, like while we were working on the process of it, we both found that we both have a common love in rock and roll. And I just felt like, even just like with the title, Sit Down, Shut Up, and Stop Killing People, has like that kind of like punk rock feel to it. So it just kind of grew from there into the song you're about to see.
I love it. So actually, you mentioned the title of the song, and as we kind of mentioned before, we all kind of came up with possible titles, and then we randomly selected the ones that either were kind of given to us or that we asked for, that you asked for. So since it was somebody else's title, how did you really take ownership of it, Sarah Claude?
Yeah, basically when we, Thomas texted me the next day after the titles were chosen, and he texted me, yo, we're a team, and this is our song, Sit Down, Shut Up, and Stop Killing People. And so right away we knew that it was going to be a very confrontational song.
Right.
And like just the title inspired us so much to just like the bass lines of the song and what we wanted, like Thomas said, with the style, with the punk rock, like we right away, and it was like, okay, we know what to do with this, let's just put it to work. And like it didn't really matter what kind of conflict we had, like who the character were at first. It's just like, and we made up to be what it is and what you're going to see, but like it didn't matter what conflict we decided on, it just mattered that there was one, because and that's basically how we took ownership of it.
That makes sense. So you focused in on the fact that the title was conflictive in nature, and then you just went for kind of whatever popped into your minds at first. Is that basically?
Well, it took us a little bit to find like the exact subject of the conflict.
I see.
And we were thinking about like what was happening right now, and we ended up choosing like people who weren't wearing masks, basically, as like the topic of the song, and it evolved from there. Like we started with the lexicon, and like we just like threw it all in there.
Fantastic. Well, we will hear that song right after we hear Corral and Sean's first song, which is called My Perspective. Here we are, everybody. Enjoy.
All right, yeah. Okay, see you later. Get the hell out of here, man. Bye.
your friends doing here?
Oh, what can I say? I like living my life without a care in my mind, running around on my own time. Just calm down, I'm not blind. I just hope it's not a crime.
It is.
The fuck made you queer the castle?
You're actually insane. I want to scream and shout. This is no time to play around. Could you please stop going out? I'm on the verge of breaking down.
My perspective is what I know.
His perspective is a whole new show. Trying to do what is right.
Let's just take it day by day.
When we talk, we just fight.
I don't care what you have to say.
I don't wanna live this way.
My perspective might be wrong. We are strangers living in one place. Feels like we're always in a race. Another day inside. Cannot wait to go outside.
One more day online. This morning I got a sign. Maybe this will all be fine. Fuck, pass me the wine. My perspective is what I know.
Her perspective is a whole new show. Trying to fix this big mess. Let's just take it day by day.
Every talk is more stress.
Yes, I know, don't push me away. We could find a way.
My perspective might be wrong.
My perspective.
My perspective
is not the same.
Your perspective, our perspective.
There's no one to blame.
Our perspective is what we knew.
This perspective is brand new. Trying to find where we belong. Let's just take it day by day. Your perspective makes me strong. Makes me strong.
I feel like I'm suffocating. This mask is debilitating. No use in being polite. I know what I'm saying is right. Oxygen can't reach my brain. I feel like I'm going insane.
How can you be suffocating when there's so much proof explaining how masks don't block the air? It just seems like you don't care. You keep causing others strife. This mask could save their lives. Sit down.
Can't you see all the people you are hurting?
Shut up.
I've gotta do something, make you stop somehow. Sit down, shut up, and stop killing people.
You're using your defiance, your disbelief in science to keep from doing what's right, but that's not the way to fight. You all think that you're so smart, then why's the world falling apart? the people you are hurting.
Shut up.
I can't stand by and watch you tear it all down. Sit down, shut up, and stop killing people.
Me and my friends were acting out.
You are starting to see.
Now I know what it's all about.
At last we can agree. Maybe this team is slightly strange,
but we still can make a change.
sit down,
I can see all the people I've been hurting.
shut
I
up,
can't stand by and watch them tear it all down.
sit down, shut up, and stop killing people. Sit down, shut up, and stop killing people.
Yeah. it's so much fun. I love it. So great. By the way, that rock guitar part was added by my friend Chris Turley. He's such a fantastic player. I just want to kind of shout out to Chris. And now I am joined by two more teams, the last two teams actually. We have Anastasia Harris, Madeline Kennedy, and Mallory Mason and Maddie Fowler. Hi, everybody. Always great to see you. I want to start with Mallory and Maddie. So the big question really is like, how do you manage collaboration while you're in isolation? Because you were in remote locations both, through this entire process. How did you do it?
I mean, it was a lot of, obviously, in class, we'd be in breakout rooms on Zoom and we talk about it. But also just like, we each took different parts of the song to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mallory messaged me off the bat and she was like, okay, I have a chorus. And I was like, awesome, love it. So we worked from there and just went back and forth with taking different parts of the song.
Cool. And so you each split up sections, is that right, Mallory?
Yeah, so Maddie took the verses and then I blast wrote a chorus and a bridge. And then we just went, okay, well, we have all of these awesome parts, and now let's just sandwich them together into a song.
Amazing. So then I guess the next kind of question I have for you is, how did you decide on the characters? Who are they? How did you develop them? All of that process. What was that like?
Yeah, I think we both have heard stories about just like people in relationships during quarantine, just all of a sudden having to spend so much time with their partner that they'd never done before. Like I've never seen my partner at their job and like not necessarily vibing in that way that you would in your usual relationship. And so we wanted to look at it from that perspective.
I see.
Yeah, and just kind of how, you think something's strong until it's not, and just how like any little tiny thing can set somebody off and just cause a gigantic fight. And like you can even break up over literally nothing. And just how that's becoming more and more common with such close quarters.
Yeah, it's really, we haven't experienced this, right, in our lifetimes. The fact that it's not just living together, we're now living together, working together, never being allowed to leave. It's like, it's a different amount of pressure on a relationship. It's an unfair amount of pressure, actually, in a way, on a relationship, isn't it? But you both captured it so beautifully in your song. So we will hear that first. And now I'd love to ask you, Anastasia and Madeline, what were some lyric writing? I just love the lyrics in your song. They're so specific. So I'm curious about the techniques that you used to approach the lyrics.
Yeah, so our song talks about a writer and a reader both relating to this one character in a very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to show both positive and negative traits. And what we ended up settling on was we looked into like foxes and we were like, well, they could be cunning, but they can also be sly. And we wanted to describe her that way.
Very cool. So you took an animalistic qualities and kind of transferred them to create this character?
Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. And do you think this process inspired you to write a little more, maybe?
This process was definitely something really interesting. I had never written anything before. Thankfully, my partner did. So, but it was really cool, and I think we collaborated really well. So if she'd have me, I'd love to do some more writing. We could definitely do more writing.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I'm so happy to hear it. And without any further ado, let's jump to the songs. We'll start with The Parts of You I Take by Mallory and Maddie, and then we go to Almost Other by Anastasia and Madeline. Thank you, everybody.
Last night I watched you sleep and thought about the things we said we'd do. Promises I don't know if I ever meant to keep, weighing on my conscience as I lay there watching you. I know you feel more broken as each dreary day drags on. You know I can't say I don't feel the same. And the things we left unspoken still between us as the dawn creeps above your window pane. The parts of me you take, the things I didn't want to share, but you took them and left me damaged past repair. The load you've made me carry is so heavy, but you don't care. The parts of me you take, you took, these parts are left.
I think I have to go. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I'm learning things about you that I didn't need to know. I think that once I loved you, but this shouldn't be a chore. You're draining all my patience, and it's weighing on my mind that I just don't feel happy in this place. You're deathly optimistic and so sickeningly kind. I don't know how to tell you I need space. The parts of you I take, that I take with me every day. Little naggings I keep neatly tucked away. My baggage wasn't heavy until I had to stay. The parts of you I take, I took, these parts are left. Do you think I want to spend my days locked in the guest room fighting over some unimportant teeny tiny thing that just picks and pokes and bites until it's a massive ball of rage that I can't escape? There's nowhere I can go where I can't see your face, because we work from home, we eat at home, we never fucking leave our home.
You always do this, blow things out of proportion and blame it all on me. Because it's my fault, because I didn't do the dishes or forgot to take the trash out. The small, non-important, teeny tiny things are rocks you throw at me. Just hurt me. And we fight and we fight.
Well, we argue.
Well, we fight, and I don't really know if I want to stay in this place with no love and no trust, and sometimes I want to
go. Just go. You don't want to listen, so I don't want to talk. Go to a hotel or go for a walk, but just go. Just go.
The parts of you I take, that I take with me every day. Little pictures I keep neatly tucked away. My baggage wasn't heavy before I knew I wanted to stay. The love we had, we gave, we took. Now what is left?
I once wrote a girl named Seraphine. I will be rejecting the more deceptive parts of me. Selfishly affecting Sarah, as cunning as feisty, fighting the wild in me. Sarah, selfish and sly, coming alive with me from your almost other. I once read a girl named Seraphine. In every page she spoke to me. Her passionate wiles, I thought I could be just as perfect as she. Sarah, cunning, bold and sly, crafted every alibi. Smart and brave, she beat them all. I wish I could be that strong. She could be my every dream, silently projecting. She sees every part of me, almost unsuspecting. Sarah, as cunning as feisty, fighting the wilds in me. Oh, Sarah, selfish and sly, coming alive with me from your almost other. Seraphine, nightmare and a beauty. Seraphine, the best and worst of me, she captured my attention. Intention deep inside my mind. I have this strange affliction, stuck in writer's fiction. I have to get. I never wanna get out. Sarah, as cunning as feisty, fighting the wild in me. Oh, Sarah, selfish and sly, coming alive with me from your almost other.
All right. My gosh, that is so catchy, that tune. Oh, talk about two contrasting songs to end on. Congratulations to you all. That's unbelievably incredible work that you've done just in 10 short weeks. It's mind-blowing. So I am in awe of all your talents, both as performers and as now new writers. So congratulations. I look forward to seeing what else you put forth into the world. And I just want to ask you, a few of you, just to sum up maybe in a few words what you thought about the experience, and if you have anybody to thank. I'll start with you, Marley.
I just want to say that it was really fun. I had such a good time writing, especially with Kira. We would just make jokes and they turned into lyrics, and that was really cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I would just like to thank Alex Sam.
Yeah.
He really helped me make my editing dreams come true. So thank you.
Thanks, Marley. All right, how about you, Maddie and Anna?
Yeah, do you guys have they're unmuted.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, which part are we doing first?
What if you want to talk about something you took away from the experience, or thank you, whatever you feel.
I think something I'm taking away from the experience is that I kind of always, I'd never written songs before this, and so I was like, oh, I couldn't do that, I'm not a songwriter. But having kind of gone through the process with you and tried it once, and even starting with lyrics that all right, this is gonna be bad, but let's show it to the class and get feedback and go from there. Right. You can just kind of try it. You don't have to already be a songwriter to try writing a song. That's a fun place to go from here.
Yeah, I think something I took away from this was that it can be helpful to try different processes. Because I have written, and this is very much not how I approach writing, but I thought it was really enjoyable, and I enjoy I like the product that it came out with. So
yeah, and then we also want to thank Kate Anderson and Elisa Sansel,
who were kind enough to come give their very expert help to us.
Yes. Elisa Samsel and Kate Anderson joined us from Los Angeles. They're writers right now on Apple TV Central Park. And they also wrote the music and lyrics for Olaf's Frozen Adventure, amongst other fantastic works. They're an incredible team, and we were really lucky to have them. So thanks for remembering them and thanking them. How about you, Sean? Before we get to our closing number, which is still something that you all wrote together, which is amazing. How do you find this? These songs might change you as an actor, or do they change you as an actor at all? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it does make a difference in how I look at like something like lyrics and storytelling through song.
Yeah.
Rather than it just being like lyrics on a page that you're singing. Now it's more like, okay, I understand how like the story could have been created. Obviously, I'm not there with them, but it's cool to have a better grasp on how they would have come up with ideas and things like that. And I would also like to say thank you to Chad McNamara, Janet Jackson, and Doug Rutten, as this would not, all this wouldn't have been able to happen without them. So
exactly. Yeah. Thank you to all those three. Thanks, Sean. And Kira, how about you? Is there a favorite moment you had this semester?
Gosh, I think my favorite moment was when we finally got to hear the like first draft of the track for Homebody, when John was sending out the first track. So it was so exciting, and it like felt real all of a sudden to like hear something that we created. It was wild. And I would like to thank William Perry for all of the work that he did in his own time and how gracious he was with his own time. It was amazing. And the show would not look the same without him. He made so many of the little videos. Yeah, so thank you so much, Will.
Yeah, well, he did so much. He did the opening and still the closing, which is yet to come. So you'll see more of his fantastic work amidst a million other things. So I thank you too, Will, for all of that incredible work. Thanks, Kira. How about you, Madeline? You think, I know you write. Do you think this has kind of changed how you write, maybe?
Yeah, I'm really excited to actually take this back to people that I've written with before, and to like continue writing with my friends, and to also get to bring this back to my brother who's learning composition and be like, why don't we try this? And also I really want to thank Chris Turley, because the drums and the guitar, amazing. So exciting.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's a brilliant guitar player and a great composer too, actually. So thanks, Chris. Maggie and Sarah, I leave it to you both. What do you think? Do you think you might take this show and perform it somewhere else in the future with your colleagues?
I mean, we haven't talked about it yet, but after watching it as a whole, there's some really great songs in here, and I would love to see them keep getting reworked, and I'd love to see where this goes. So don't count it out. We may be back.
And I'd also like to take this opportunity just to thank Jonathan on behalf of all of us. He made all the tracks, he arranged all the songs, he put so much time into all of our songs and made them all to the quality that they are at. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. They all deserve to be at, you gave me great songs to work with, so they deserve to be heard at their fullest. So it was my pleasure to work on all of them, and my pleasure to work with every single one of you. This was a fantastic experience for me. And with that, I will play our closing number and wish everyone a happy holidays. Stay safe over the break for all of you, and let's say goodbye to 2020, please. Thank you for this wonderful experience, and bye for now.
Our desk should not be this.
We feel like Sisyphus chasing boulders down a hill.
How are we supposed to feel patriotic
When our lives became conventionally chaotic. This is a time to find ourselves.
This has changed everything we ever thought we knew. We can't escape some lyrics on it. So great, take it in. Conventionally chaotic. Conventionally chaotic. Conventionally chaotic.
Conventionally chaotic.
trying to forge our path. Even though the earth's a dumpster fire and we're the trash, we couldn't get much more neurotic. But one thing's for sure, together we're conventionally conventional.